So you want to stop bad habits, or maybe you want to start good habits. Well, first off, you've got to understand what a habit actually is. To make it really simple, a habit is when the body knows it better than the mind. So let's have a think about this. You press the snooze button. Before you know it, you're out of bed, you've pressed the snooze a couple of times. You don't consciously get up and go, I'm going to press the snooze now. I think I'm going to press the snooze. I might just press the snooze. You do it without even thinking about it, right? Just like sometimes you don't realize you're overeating until you've overate, right? We have a habit of doing things. If you're a smoker and you're smoking, sometimes you'll, oh bloody hell, I'm smoking again. I've got a habit of biting my nails. I don't realize I'm doing it until I'm doing it or I've done it. And you know what I'm talking about. Now, maybe you have bad habits with food or drink or overthinking. Because let's be honest, you have the habit of overthinking or you have the habit of becoming anxious a lot. You don't realize until you're into it or it's happened. That's a habit because the body knows it better than the mind. It just gets into it. And before, it's like going and making a coffee on a morning. Before you know it, oh yeah, I'm making a coffee now. This is a habit, right? So we have an issue when it comes to changing bad habits, because bad habits are very addictive in terms of that easy to perform usually. And what they do is they give us a short-term payoff. So very quickly we can get something from a bad habit, from smoking, from eating, from drinking, from gambling, through scrolling as well, which is one of my bad habits for sure. I'm looking to get a handle on that. When we just, what we call doom scrolling, before you know it, I've spent the past 20 minutes looking at some shitty reels or some shitty videos or getting involved in some crappy comment section that's triggering us, or I'm just too into the drama. We know what it's like, okay? So bad habits give us a short-term payoff, but ultimately they give us a long-term drawback, don't they? They give us a long-term dissatisfaction, if you will, because later down the line, we've put something else off for making that bad habit happen. We always get something from it. You might think, oh, well, what do you get from your drinking? What do you get from your overeating habits? Oh, nothing. Yes, you do. You get comfort, you get pleasure, you get avoidance, you get entertainment maybe from scrolling or whatnot. So if we want to change bad habits, a great bit of advice is we need to start doing good habits, which will eventually push the bad habits out. But we also have to understand that the reason why good habits are so difficult to get into is because if bad habits give us a short-term payoff and a long-term drawback, our mind usually doesn't go to the long term. We're very emotional creatures as humans, so we go to the short term. The problem with good habits is that we have no short-term payoff a lot of the time, but we do have a long-term gain. So you start developing the habit of, for example, drinking more water, and you just start drinking more water, 2, 3, 4 liters a day. You're not going to feel anything whilst you're drinking that water straight away. In fact, it might even feel uncomfortable. Like, I'm not thirsty, it's cold outside, I don't want to drink all this water, I'm full on water, I'm sloshing about, I'm going to the toilet all the time. Like, you don't get an immediate feeling from it. Sometimes you get discomfort from good habits, like I've just explained. But ultimately, you know that the healthier your cells are, the more hydrated you are, the clearer you're going to be, and the more focused and energized, the better you're going to perform athletically, the more you are going to be aided in your weight loss and your health if you are hydrated. But ultimately, that doesn't happen very quickly. So to get a handle on bad habits, what do you need to do? Well, first off, be aware of what I've just told you, that you get short-term pleasure, but ultimately long-term discomfort from too many of bad habits. Now again, you might think, oh, just one's not that bad. It's like when it comes to the biscuit tin, I'll just have one. But you know that 1 leads to 2, 2 can lead to 10. Before you know it, you're neck deep in a packet of hobnobs. Or maybe you just do have 1 or 2 a day. Maybe you do have a 2-finger Kit Kat every day with your lunch, which is fine. But if your goal is to get in shape and be healthy, and you're consuming that much sugar over a period of a month, that could be negatively impacting your weight loss, because that's a lot of calories over a week and over a month if you put it together, right? It might only be 150 calories, 200 calories, but over a week, that's nearly a day's worth of food intake for some people. Just that 1 Kit Kat, right? You got to think about that. Just a little won't harm. So what do you got to do? What happens when we venture for bad habits is we're either looking to seek out pleasure or avoid discomfort, avoid pain. That's why we're doing it. So we go for let's use the eating as an example. We go for the biscuits or the chocolate. Yes, we want pleasure, but sometimes it helps us maybe avoid pain because we think of the pain that we would get if we didn't have that. We think if we didn't sit and relax and watch our favorite TV show that we would miss out on something. But sometimes eating that stuff helps us avoid the bad habits, the good habits, sorry. Let's say we're indulging in this Kit Kat and we think, oh, well, I might as well eat this because if I'm eating this, then I can't fully focus on my diet, so I'll do that later. That means I can have this. So we're avoiding by actually seeking the pleasure. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting how the brain works and how we can habitually get into these situations where we know we're doing kind of things that we shouldn't be doing, that aren't helping us, but we just seem to get addicted to it. So a great bit of advice moving forward with this, to take this and cap it off. Be aware of why you do things. And understand that you're seeking pleasure or you're avoiding discomfort. So have a think about this. You want to replace bad habits with good ones. Ultimately, you're looking for a feeling. We're all searching for a feeling. It's why we do everything in life. It's why we eat, why we smoke, why we drink, why we sedate with social media, etc. We're looking for a feeling. So, what else can give us that feeling? So if it is a sugar fix, can we get it from fruit? And believe it or not, in a few days, if you change that up, you might start actually thinking that way. But the problem is we try it once, maybe we don't like it, we just get back into it because it's easy, we forget we're banana at work, and before we know it, we're back into it, right? Maybe it is that. Maybe if you're scrolling through social media, you're looking for entertainment, you're looking for connection. How else could you get that? Could you get entertainment from reading a book, getting some insights? Could you get entertainment from watching an educational video rather than just some entertaining reel on TikTok or Instagram or something? These are just ideas that could possibly inspire you to change your ways. And hey, I'm guilty too. I scroll far too much. I can get distracted. I can get involved in bad habits just like you can. But I have a little bit more awareness than most to understand why I'm doing it. And I can make a conscious effort to change to do so. And you can, hopefully, after this video. And I hope if this has helped, that you share it with others and you give me below in the comments your biggest takeaway and the number one thing that you need to start doing and you need to stop doing. I'll see you soon. How would your life look like with more motivation, energy, and self-control? My second book, Supercharged, is available now, the modern-day guide to creating outstanding levels of energy, motivation, and self-control. Head to superchargedbook.com to get your copy right away.